July 17th, the house gets raided. 3.5 months later, September 29th, Keefe gets arrested in Las Vegas.
Right.
Between that time is when the grand jury is happening. Are you involved in the grand jury?
No, not directly.
Okay. I know some people that are involved in the grand jury. They actually were calling me. They called me like a dozen times. I just ignored their phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, they had to start leaving voicemails. And they basically said they wanted all my raw footage in the interviews, but I just chose not to cooperate. From my point of view, my goal was not to put Keefe in prison. It was to get the real story out. And also, if someone sits down and interviews with me, I'm not going to turn around and then use that interview to try to put them in jail, regardless of whether I agree with them or don't agree with them. Mm-hmm. That's just my own rules that I abide by. You know what I'm saying? So, and on top of that, there was really no raw footage to be had. If you know my interviews, we essentially put out everything, unless the person coughs or has to go to the bathroom or whatever else. Like we're not cutting out, important parts. It was all there. And, in between that time, between the raid and the arrest, Keefe reaches out to me and wants to do a third interview. And, but this time he wants to deposit because I paid him for the other 2 interviews.
Okay.
But this time he wants to deposit. And I'm like, okay, I know where this is going. I'm going to give him a deposit. He's going to get arrested. And I'll never see the money again, but whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm aware that this is probably the outcome of this deposit. And sure enough, we give him a deposit. He disappears.
You probably learned that from Suge.
Yeah, there you go. And I know that he hit up some other outlets and did the same thing. So it seemed like he was trying to basically stack whatever money he could. Once again, I don't know why he didn't leave. I would have left. Have you ever seen anyone successfully leave the country when they have an arrest pending and then just disappear forever?
Never to be seen again. Not really, not off the top of my head. I mean, people can be at large for a long period of time. Look at Whitey Bulger, right?
Yeah.
So people can be at large for a long period of time, but ultimately it seems like at some point they get caught up.
Okay. But you can go to another country that doesn't have an extradition policy, but then you're just in another country trying to figure out what to do with yourself.
Right.
Me personally, I'll be in the other country. I'll be in Iran or
you probably
Russia.
You probably have the financial resources to live elsewhere.
Yeah.
What is Keefe D? He doesn't have anything to support himself.
It's better than prison, though.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying
I'll take no RIA. If I got to work in a Venezuelan restaurant for the rest of my life, it's better than prison.
Yeah. Again, I don't know that he had completely been convinced that it was going to culminate in his arrest. I think he thought probably Vegas was still on a fishing expedition. He probably thought that his public statements weren't going to be used against him. So I think that naivete is what kept him around.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the footage of him getting arrested, the body cam footage, it was like the cop, I guess, didn't even know what he was being arrested for. He was just sent out to arrest him.
Right.
And he goes, what are you being arrested for? He goes, the biggest case in Las Vegas history.
Yeah, well, I think the cop was just playing like he didn't know, because there's no way you're going to send cops out to arrest a murder suspect without telling them this is what we're sending you out to do.
Okay. So he was just kind of playing with it.
Just playing, yeah. Just playing dumb to see what kind of statements Keefe D might say.